In the realm of enigmatic figures, none captures attention quite like Chiraq'S Barnes. What is it about her that sent shivers down the spines of even the most fearless rappers? A mere 17 years old, she wielded a reputation within her gang-infested community as an unparalleled sharpshooter. Distinction, unsettling as it is, extraordinary. The trajectory of her life is a testament to the unfathomable power of circumstance. How does an exemplary student find herself turning into a lethal force? It's a journey marked by a sequence of harrowing events, each one etching its mark on the transformation of a young woman into something far more complex. Today we dive deeper into the mystique surrounding Chiraq'S Barnes, a name that resonates with both infamy and tragedy among Chicago street. Chiraq'S Barnes found herself ensnared in a fate seemingly preordained by the grim circumstances of her birth in the unforgiving alleys of Chiraq'S. However, this portrait of her as a killer belies the complexity of her journey. Before the darkness took hold, Chiraq'S bore a different identity, an aspiring social worker, a gentle soul. Amidst the hallways of her school, she was the quiet figure, yet beyond those walls, the mean streets of Chicago recognized her for a wholly different reputation. The seeds of her transformation were sown early, tragedy striking as her father fell victim to violence before she even reached her first birthday. In spite of this, Chiraq'S defied the odds, her academic prowess shining through, notably from her 8th grade year at Southside Charter School in 2010. A suspension for disrespect briefly interrupted her ascent, though her record of academic promise remained unblemished by any propensity for physical confrontation. However, the dichotomy of Chiraq'S life was unmistakable. Amidst the backdrop of her ambitions, she became drawn to the allure of the city's tumultuous underbelly. Magnetism of GD parties and the unfolding specter of violence proved to be too strong. Dreams of the future as a social worker dimmed as she gravitated towards the potent combination of protection and respect offered by gang affiliation. Despite her initial good intentions, her aspirations crumbled beneath the weight of life's harsh realities. This pattern was common with countless souls navigating the challenges of Chicago's urban landscape. Chiraq'S, hailing proudly from the intersection of 63rd and St. Lawrence, aligned herself with the STLEBT, a connection that etched her name within the tapestry of the city's gang affiliations. Her daring spirit and her knack for executing crimes that often surpassed the bravado of her male counterparts garnered her the recognition of the gangster disciples, prominent faction within the network of Chicago street gangs. Her journey intertwined with the lives of pivotal figures, including the late FBG Duck. She garnered wisdom under the tutelage of seasoned gang veterans. Yet her descent into the abyss took a distinct turn, a shift that would carve the divide between Chiraq'S and KI. The catalyst lay in the tragic loss of a confidant and fellow gang member, Shundell Gregory, aka Tuka, a chilling event that transpired at the hands of rival factions in 2011. It was in this crucible of pain and retaliation that the transformation of a girl named Chiraq'S into the hardened figure we know as KI that would truly unfold. Two grieving factions, GDs mourning Tuka and the BDs grappling with Odie's loss, stood on the precipice of a gang war, a conflagration in which Chiraq'S found herself positioned at the very heart. Police records painted a troubling portrait, designating Chiraq'S as a suspect in range of 3 to 5 shootings, including one fatal incident. Yet the narrative spun by alternative sources reached far more staggering heights, claiming her involvement in a staggering count of at least 17 shootings. Strikingly, authorities uncovered a chilling detail. Chiraq'S kept newspaper chronicles of her friend's tragic demise. The resemblance to the vengeful plots of cinematic tales was unsettlingly real. Astonishingly, Chiraq'S dive into the abyss commenced at the tender age of merely 14. She took her very first steps into the realm of murder. In the wake of Tuka's tragic passing, the agonizing symphony of social media's scornful taunts only served to stoke the fires of her resentment. As the year pressed on, Odie Perry, the suspected orchestrator behind Tuka's untimely demise, met his own grim fate. This pivotal turn of events prompted the Black Disciples, known as the BDs, to undertake a somber transformation, rechristening their domain as O-Block. In a mirror response, the Gangster Disciples, or GDs, reshaped their identity, adopting the moniker Tukaville to pay homage to their fallen soldier. While official charges never bore down on KI in connection to Odie Perry's fatal end, the streets themselves took a whispered refrain, attributing her to the lethal act of pulling the trigger. The reverberations of Tuka's tragic demise extended beyond an isolated incident, transcending time and inflicting a legacy of pain that spanned generations. To fathom the roots of this enmity, a journey must be taken back to the corridors of high school days, where the first seeds of discord were sown. Initial skirmishes between factions from opposing realms unfolded as seemingly mundane schoolyard altercations. Yet with the passage of years, the acquisition of firearms, and the intensification of local disputes, these conflicts metamorphosed into a relentless tide of lethal violence. Among these figures ensnared in the sprawling conflict, King Von stood as a pivotal presence, his allegiance to the Parkway Bloods and the BD faction unequivocally etched across the digital canvases of social media. Within the BD fold, the Wick City set beckoned, distinguished by notable figures like HK, J-Money, and the close companion to King Von, T-Roy. The roster extended to encompass significant names including Odie, Platoon, Trey 5, Boss Money, Duke, Shiroy, Reezy, Big A, and Boss Top. The opposing force, STL-EBT, intrinsically linked with the GDs, claimed members of equal stature. KI, Tuka's intimate confidant, shared the stage with the likes of FBG Duck, Lil B, Lil Doc, FBG Brick, Wooski, FBG Butter, Boss Trill, and Lil J. Names that resonated within the fabric of Chicago's drill culture. The feud, an intricate web of hostility, lacked a singular catastrophic event to pinpoint as its cause, perpetually spiraling deeper into a vortex of animosity. In the cruel chronicles of this conflict, January 2011 unraveled a tragic chapter. A masked assailant targeted Tuka on the 600 block of 63rd Street, piercing his chest with a gunshot that sent him stumbling to the ground. 3 additional rounds followed as the assailant approached, departing the scene in a fleeing vehicle. Tuka's mournful passing cast a long shadow over FBG Duck and KI, who sought to enshrine his memory amidst the mounting tensions. Relationship with O-Block, already taut, soured further, their mockery of Tuka's death becoming a bitter reference. Social media platforms became the battleground, where rival factions sent out threats and threw shade at the memories of the departed, intensifying the already brewing landscape of Chi-Town. For KI, the sheer disrespect became a catalyst for transformation. Under the guidance of Boss Trail and her older gang brother, Seaball, she embarked on a journey of transformation, becoming adept in wielding guns and street survival. The rift between O-Block and Tukaville echoed across the legacies of King Von, FBG Duck, KI, and their compatriots, forging a narrative defined by personal tragedies, territorial disputes, and an unquenchable thirst for retribution. The casualties transcend mere body counts, each name inscribed with sacrifice and allegiance. Amid this sea of sorrow, KI's odyssey as an alleged shooter was poised to take its formative steps, as Tuka's life was extinguished. Reportedly, a reprisal for the killing of a BD named Edric Walker. Rumors swirled, fingers pointing at Odie Perry as the orchestrator behind the grim deed. Odie's own demise left a gaping void, casting a pall over KI, igniting a vengeful flame within her. STL-EBT embraced her, providing sanctuary and guidance amidst the turmoil.
Shout out MOP. Crazy, man.
On August 10th, 2011, Tuka's birthday was marked with a celebration in STL-EBT, culminating in FBG Duck's music video shoot for his track Freestyle, galvanizing the Tukaville members. As the clock struck 11:30, Odie Perry met a fatal ambush, a volley of bullets felling him near Parkway Gardens. Aged just 20, his demise triggered both grief and a decision to rechristen the block as a tribute to him. Amid swirling conjecture regarding the identity of the assailant, Chicago PD's gaze turned to figures like Akira Barnes and Boss Trail, beckoning an era of suspicion, pursuit amidst the relentless tapestry of violence. The idea of a young girl being involved in the death of a respected figure like Odie Perry was hard for many to grasp. Odie was known for having a .357 Magnum, as shown in pictures. There were rumors that KI took this gun from him after he was shot, and even posted pictures with it on social media. However, this unintentional action by KI led to the creation of what would become a famous neighborhood in America. KI's reputation as someone skilled with guns grew in the city, especially when a popular drill rapper named King Lil J mentioned her in his songs, talking about her shooting skills and her role in the streets. After Odie Perry's death, KI went on to Twitter to insult him. She wrote a tweet that said, "Shout out to Odie for being target practice, LOL." She continued with disrespectful comments, making it clear she disliked Odie and might have been the one who killed him. KI was deeply involved in the ongoing gang war in Chicago. Unfortunately, another tragedy struck close to KI when a 13-year-old boy named Taekwon was killed. This fueled KI's desire for revenge and cemented her reputation as a powerful presence in Chicago's gang scene. She became a symbol for the harsh reality of violence in the city. As K.I.'s influence grew, she gained attention in the media. Her role in the ongoing gang conflicts caught people's eyes, especially during the rise of Chicago's drill music era. K.I.'s name was mentioned in rap lyrics, making her even more famous and spreading her reputation as a shooter. However, her story is just one part of the bigger picture of Chicago's gang culture and her rise. At this point, it's clear that K.I. has experienced a lot of pain. She has known loss. She has suffered another tragedy when a young boy named Taekwon, who was like her little brother, was killed. The cycle of violence keeps affecting her life. Even though they were cousins, their bond was strong. Taekwon's mother tried to protect him from the violence by moving to a safer place in Illinois, but he still returned to Chicago, drawn back by its allure. One night, he begged his mother to let him go to a party in a dangerous neighborhood. She reluctantly agreed, but it turned out to be a fatal decision. As the party ended, an argument escalated into gunshots, and Taekwon was hit in the chest. His mother, who had come to pick him up, found him bleeding on the sidewalk. K.I. witnessed this heartbreaking scene, showing the fragility of life. A young boy who just wanted to have fun with friends lost his life. K.I. went on to Twitter to pay her respects, writing, "R.I.P. little bro Taekwon, I got a different mind stage now. It's a cold, cold world." There's a territory that K.I. may have taught Taekwon about guns and robbery, involving him in crimes against rival drug dealers. Allegedly, one of these dealers sought revenge, leading to Taekwon's tragic death. A man named Nassim Flowers was arrested, tried, and given a 55-year prison sentence for his role in the murder. Taekwon's death shattered K.I., fueling her anger and determination. She decided to avenge his death and started calling herself Taekwon Assassin on social media. Within her gang, she formed a subgroup called Taekwon World, made up of younger members. This group quickly gained a fearsome reputation, leaving a trail of violence in their wake as they fought against rival gangs. K.I. targeted bigger enemies, considering herself a soldier in the unending war, where there would be a collateral damage. As the conflict escalated, Tukaville suffered another tragedy with the loss of Marlon Monroe, known as Lil Doc. On April 28, 2012, Lil Doc, a 23-year-old, was on his way home when he was shot and killed. The feud between Tukaville and O-Block continued, leading to insults and mocking on social media. Both sides used online platforms to attack each other, worsening the tension. During this time, K.I. had a confrontation with one of her rivals, Devon Bennett, also known as King Von, on a train. This encounter marked another chapter in the ongoing conflict between these rival factions. On September 25, 2012, a confrontation unfolded between K.I. and her primary rival, King Von, on a train. The exchange rapidly escalated into physical violence as King Von delivered multiple punches to K.I.'s face. Following the incident, he took to Twitter to revel in his actions. K.I. acknowledged the altercation but minimized her injury, mentioning that she only had a bruise. In response, she alluded to her own firearm, implying that it would cause significant harm to King Von's face. In the subsequent days, K.I. directly addressed King Von on Twitter, informing him that she had defeated a member of O-Block, an associate of King Von named Lil Scud, during a train incident. She went on to state that Lil Scud hadn't landed a single hit. King Von responded to K.I. with an admiring tone, even expressing the possibility of being in love with her. However, K.I. rebuffed his advances, dismissing him and even suggesting he might be gay. Nevertheless, King Von persisted, sliding into her DMs, expressing his desire to be with her. Over time, K.I. gradually opened up to him, discussing rumors that O-Block intended to harm her, even ranking her as a top target. King Von confessed that while there were individuals within O-Block who held ill intentions toward her, he personally held deep feelings for her and wouldn't be able to cause her harm. He revealed that he had carried a gun during their encounters, implying that he could have used it against her if he wanted. Throughout their conversations, King Von conveyed his commitment to the gang lifestyle, expressing his loyalty to his crew and affirming that he couldn't envision any other path for himself. This sentiment resonated with K.I., who shared his belief that both of them were destined to meet their fate amidst Chicago's ongoing gang strife. Despite moments of civility and mutual respect, their gang rivalry remained resolute. Following these interactions, K.I. took to social media to disrespect Odie Perry, prompting King Von to respond with a remark about how he should have inflicted more harm during their train altercation. K.I. then messaged King Von taunting O-Block, asserting that her gang Tukaville was responsible for all the killings, hinting at the desire for a violent showdown. Despite King Von's fearsome reputation in the streets, K.I.'s provocative messages managed to provoke. He asked her if she genuinely wanted a shootout, to which K.I. replied affirmatively, expressing a desire for T-Roy, another key figure, to be involved as well. K.I.'s wish for a confrontation materialized on October 9, 2012, when King Von and T-Roy were spotted near the gates of O-Block. Accompanied by FBG Cash, K.I. confronted him, firing shots that wounded King Von in the leg. Despite the attack, both King Von and T-Roy survived. King Von took to social media, making light of being shot and emphasizing his refusal to be perceived as coward, implying that being shot shouldn't be a prerequisite for establishing peace. T-Roy, on the other hand, adopted a more serious tone, tweeting, "I'm gonna kill this." Undeterred by the threats, K.I. persisted in targeting O-Block. She allegedly shot T-Roy's female cousin, despite being identified as the shooter by the survivor. Additionally, K.I. purportedly attempted to assassinate her ex-boyfriend, Mikado 600, an O-Block affiliate. She pursued him near Parkway Gardens but failed to apprehend him. Through her actions and determination, K.I. unmistakably demonstrated her resolve and capacity for lethal action. On April 11, 2014, K.I. made a fatal error. She shared her location on Twitter, making it visible to everyone, including her adversaries. Walking along the 6400 block of South Eberhard with FBG Butter and Spoon from Gyro City, they were en route to Wooski's residence to honor Boss Trail's birthday. Out of nowhere, a gunman emerged from a vehicle directing bystanders away and began firing at K.I. and her companions. Both of her friends were hit, one in the foot and the other in the knee. K.I. herself suffered 9 gunshot wounds to her chest, neck, and jaw. Despite being shot, she managed to reach a nearby house, collapsing on its steps, taking her last breath. Upon news of K.I.'s demise, her adversaries rejoined on social media, reveling in their perceived victory. In Tukaville, a thirst for revenge consumed them, and they believed the time for payback had arrived. Following K.I.'s tragic killing, a wave of violence surged through the streets, leading to 36 individuals being shot and 4 lives lost within a mere 36 hours. 2 individuals emerged as primary suspects in Gakira's murder. One of them was Tron Young, also known as Big A from O-Block. He openly admitted his role in K.I.'s death online, and even altered his social media handle to Big Ass K.I. However, fate took a grim turn for Big A. In the early hours of December 4th, 2016, he was fatally shot in the face at Sammy's Grill on South King Drive. Some claim this incident was unrelated to K.I.'s murder, while others speculated that it was an act of retaliation by Tukaville, including DeAndre Wallace, known as Can't Get Right, and George Barnes, known as G.I. Joe, who was K.I.'s brother. The second prime suspect in K.I.'s killing was none other than King Von. On April 24, 2014, he was apprehended and held for questioning, but was eventually released due to insufficient evidence. However, King Von's freedom was short-lived, as he later faced arrest for a separate murder of that 19-year-old Malcolm Stuckey. Amidst the tragedies and heartaches, K.I.'s legacy endures. She isn't just a victim of senseless violence, but rather a symbol of the intricate interplay of circumstances and emotions that contribute to the cycle of gang conflicts. In the aftermath of K.I.'s passing, her mother and other mothers who have lost their children to violence refused to succumb to sorrow. They united with determination, aiming to effect change and provide support to those impacted by the devastating aftermath of gang-related dispute.